All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. So something that's trending on Twitter right now is to use the Krusty Krab and the Chum bucket from the epic classic SpongeBob series. Might be the best. Look, I got cartoons that I like better as a kid, but I don't think there's any denying that SpongeBob is probably the most successful cartoon ever, right? Anyways, so the name of the game is pretty much, if you're on the Krusty Krab, you're popping, you're the most popping thing ever. And if you're with the Chum bucket, which is ran by Plankton, if I'm not mistaken, you're trash, you're chum, because the Chum bucket was never as popping as the Krusty Krab. The Chum bucket always wanted to get what the Krusty Krab had. Plankton always wanted what Mr. Krabs, had, and that is your dose of Mr. TALIAFERRO going far in with a cartoon, because I'm not going to do that often. Anyways, with that being said, I hopped on Twitter looking for this Young Thug story, and I seen that he retweeted, which in this era, a retweet is a cosign, a picture of Young Thug being with the Krusty Krab and J.COLE. And this tweet was by a fan. J.COLE is on the Chum bucket. And I'm thinking about this long and hard. Yo, why would Young Thug retweet this? He could just like that the fan was bigging him up. But this is not like someone in the industry or anything like that. I think this is just a random fan. As a matter of fact, Young Thug doesn't follow his fan. As a matter of fact, Young Thug's name wasn't even mentioned in his tweet. I said all that to say it looks like Young Thug made it a point of emphasis to say he's the Krusty Krab and J.COLE's the Chum bucket. I didn't even know there's an issue there. Maybe there's not an issue there, but at the bare minimum, Young Thug thinks he's the Krusty Krab and J.COLE is the Chum bucket. I'm trying to figure that out and process that all in my head musically. I could give my opinions on this all day and night, why I believe J.COLE is better than Young Thug. Not trying to disrespect Young Thug, because Young Thug's got some tapes that are on my list of probably in the last 5 to 8 years, some of my favorite tapes. But I'm not finna compare him to J.COLE. We do realize there needs to be a standard, right? And I'm not saying sales have to be the end all be all, because I wasn't the biggest fan of J.COLE's For Your Eyes Only. But sales do have to mean something, and when J.COLE releases a project, his first week sales are through the roof. We do understand that Young Thug has never been someone who's been capable of selling, right? We do have to realize on my list, J.COLE has one undeniable classic album. A lot of people believe he has a couple classic albums. For me, 2014 Forest Hill Drive is an album that is not up for debate. In my eyes, it is a classic project. That's just my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. It could be another one. It depends on where you side in J.COLE's music and his past projects. A lot of people are arguing to me that J.COLE with Born Sinner is a classic project. I won't even go as far as say that, even though I really do really like Born Sinner. Let's just say that 2014 Forest Hill Drive is J.COLE's only classic project. Does Young Thug have anything that's musically as good as 2014 Forest Hill Drive? Again, the streets gonna tell me that they like the slime seasons, right? And I get it. The slime season, that shit knocks. But I'm talking musically appeasing. Like you could say that you're the Krusty Krab and someone else is Chum. Can you say with any Young Thug project, this makes him the Krusty Krab and this makes J.COLE Chum? I just don't see it. That's my opinion. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of J.COLE's For Your Eyes Only, but I think it's incredibly disrespectful for somebody who's making meaningful rap to now be called Chum by Young Thug, and I don't think anyone's deeming Young Thug's music as meaningful, right? Whose music is going to last longer? Whose name's going to last longer in history? I'm just asking these questions. You're free to give me your opinions in the comments box below. Young Thug says he's the Krusty Krab, and you're Plankton in the Chum bucket. I have said too much about SpongeBob for one day, probably for 1 year. Y'all talk to me in the comment box below on this conversation. That's a healthy rap conversation. I like these. I'm out.
I want to salute you, homie, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now you're turning up on MrTaliaferro.com, shawty. Yeah.